you do your laundry and, you
Yes.
forget the receipt in your trousers. And then when your clothes are dry, you're like, why do I have this powder? Now, talking about that powder, that is an indication that receipt actually has. When you use hand sanitizer or you use like a lotion or a cream and then you attach a thermal paper, it increases BPA absorption by a factor of 100 or more. So go there with your dry, ashy hands shopping. Going when you're calculating absorption of BPA is actually possibly going to cause you harm. And as we said, BPA is known to cause.
Welcome to Consultation Room Podcast.
Welcome back to another burning question episode. Now, before we start today's episode, I'm going to ask a question to, I suppose, yourself. If you have been enjoying this burning question series, please let us know. If you've not been enjoying it, let us know. So leave a comment at the bottom of this video just to let us know, are you enjoying the burning questions or are you not? Do you think they're a waste of time? Are you learning anything from burning question episodes? Because I don't know about you, Steph, but I'm learning a lot.
Yes, I am. I actually enjoy them as well, sometimes it catches you off guard, Yeah.
Exactly. Well, so today's burning question is actually something I came across very recently. So I was just minding my business and then TikTok sent me something and I was like, well, thanks TikTok. That's one extra thing I have to think about now.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question. So you go to a shop and you see this top that you like or this, I don't know, dress that you like. And, you go to the cashier, you pay for it. And they say, do you like your receipt? You say, yeah, that's fine. You take your receipt. Have you ever thought anything about that whole thing?
Do you know what? When you said that, I'm like, okay, I have seen it as well.
Yeah.
You're like, we shouldn't really be accepting like the receipt or something because I don't know if it's the ink or the paper. Basically, there's something on that receipt that is bad for us.
Yes.
Is that what you're
going to tell me?
My
question though is, do you accept receipts?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Even after seeing this, you're like,
yeah, I've been okay since.
For now.
Oh no.
Do you know what? I'm one of those people when I come across these things, I'm like, let's find out. Let's figure out what is going on. Like, I'm not just going to be caught off guard and then, the C word. So I did my research. So yes, you are right. When you pay for something, you're normally given the receipt. Now, it's not the ink, it's the paper. So this paper is called a thermal paper. And what happens with thermal papers, they have a chemical called bisphenol. So it is bisphenol A that is used in thermal papers. And this chemical is thought to be a hazard to the human health. So we'll get a little bit into it, okay? Okay. So, of course, when it comes to receipts, there's a whole environmental issue with sort of like cutting trees, because they will cut trees, produce paper, which will then be used for the receipt. And then you will just throw that receipt. You don't even need it half of the time. But I think it's just the whole idea of, do you want your receipt? You're like, yeah, go on. And then you take the receipt and then you don't even look at it. Why are you, like, unless you're going to be like analyzing everything you bought from Tesco, don't take that receipt,
Exactly. I think it's just a habit, like, you're just used to it.
Yeah.
It's a pattern, right? You go buy your things, you need a receipt for like proof that you've bought that thing. So you automatically accept it. Yeah.
You just accept it. You don't even think about anything. You're just like, yeah, go on. Like, I'll just take it.
Yeah.
And then it'll just be in your trousers. You do your laundry and, you forget the receipt in your trousers. And then when your clothes are dry, you're like, why do I have this powder? Now, talking about that powder, that is an indication that receipt actually has bisphenol A, which is what we're going to call BPA. So when
Okay.
when you've like had an old receipt and then all of a sudden it turns into like a powder thing,
Yeah.
that is an
Yeah.
indication that that is BPA in that paper.
I
Mm-hmm.
see.
Because there's some receipts that you have, for a while and you're like, this is still paper, like it's not doing nothing. Those don't
Yeah.
have BPA. But then the ones that sort of turn into like almost like a powderish, like they like little pieces,
Yeah.
that's BPA paper.
I see.
Yes, exactly. Now, well, what exactly is BPA? As we said, it is a chemical that is used in some thermal papers. It's also used in food contact materials, and it's been used for centuries. So Europe actually has banned BPA from being used in food contact materials for, I think this was the last sort of century or so, but it's not banned in the UK, and I don't know why. So, you know how they said COVID was a target, like to get the numbers? They know what they're doing. So, I wouldn't say too much, but they know what they're doing.
No, it's true.
So, BPA actually can cause harm to an unborn child or even cause infertility. So, that's why it is a concern. So, high levels of BPA. And it's also known to cause eye, skin, and respiratory irritation. So if you've been suffering from some of this and you're thinking, I have no idea where this has come from, it's that receipt from Zara. Okay, so
Wow.
yes. So normally you get exposure. So I'll just explain roughly. I mean, listen, I've only found out about this. Okay, so I might miss some things, but by all means, we're all here to learn. Okay.
Yeah.
So normally with bisphenols, you get exposure to bisphenol from loads of sources. As we said, there's BPA and BPS. There's loads of sort of like bisphenols. You get exposure from a lot of things. They're used in a lot of things, right? So basically, when you touch the receipt, the minute you touch the receipt, it's absorbed into your skin.
Yeah.
So it's not even a matter of, okay, you having it for a while. No. The minute you touch it, it's absorbed into your skin. So, yes, I've been doing a lot of research for the last couple of weeks on, is there papers, is there studies, is there articles, what are they saying about this? Is this safe? Are we supposed to be using or accepting receipts, or are we just supposed to be like, look, this is going to cause me health issues, I don't want it. So scientists don't know yet what the cumulative exposure to, of course, a lot of the chemicals, including bisphenol, is, right? So there's not a conclusion as to whether bisphenol is harmful or not in sort of like the small amounts. But what one doctor said is, you take a receipt today, you've touched that, it's been absorbed into your skin. Tomorrow you take another receipt, you absorb some of that. The next day, the day after. But the end of the week, you actually have cumulative exposure to bisphenol. So what he said is, as much as there's not evidence that sort of low traces of bisphenol or BPA is harmful to your health, cumulative absorption of BPA is actually possibly going to cause you harm. And as we said, BPA is known to cause fertility issues. It's also known to cause all these irritations on the skin, on the eyes, libido in men, things like that. Sperm count, when your sperm count is low, BPA can do that. So what the doctor was saying is, cumulative amounts of exposure through, of course, absorption of BPA can actually cause these things. But again, there's not really a study that has been done with a conclusion. At least I couldn't find any. Okay. Now, the good thing is some UK retailers like the Co-op have actually already started using alternatives to bisphenols in their till receipts. Which I think is a step forward. So as much as maybe there's not any evidence as to what this can have, what this can cause, the fact that, there's a retail company that is like, we don't know what's going to happen, but we don't want to take the risk. So if we can use a different kind of material, why not? I think that's a good step.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is. It is. And a lot of some of these retail shops as well have
Yeah.
opted for like the digital receipt as well. So I
I think
guess,
it should be, everything should be digital. I don't know why
yeah.
we're out here touching paper and taking paper,
Wasting paper as well,
wasting
like,
paper. The only paper we should be wasting is toilet paper. Guys, don't give me that excuse that you're not wiping yourselves because, there's digital. There's no digital way, okay? Use toilet paper. That's the only... Do you know what? Unless you have a bidet, by all means.
Yeah,
But use your toilet paper, okay? Don't say they said we shouldn't be using paper. No.
paper.
There's no
Trudy
BPA in your
said.
toilet paper. Trudy says there's BPA in my toilet. Don't use me. No.
Yeah.
I've just mentioned very briefly about how you can tell if a thermal paper has got BPA, which is sort of like after a while, if you've had it for a while, it sort of breaks down into this sort of like fine, powdery, exactly. But also, if you scratch the printed side, so where there's, where you've gone for your Tesco shopping, at the back it says Tesco, the number, and the front bit is where it's got your tomatoes, £1.95, your cucumber, £6. Well, I don't know where you're getting cucumbers for £6, but if you get 6, I don't know. I don't know where people shop, okay? They might be going to organic market and this is the kind of prices. But that printed side, if you scratch it, normally you see a dark mark. That is an indication that paper has BPA.
Wow, I see.
I bet you're thinking back and you're like, oh my God, that explains why. Like, I got in the can, I was like, why is there like dark whatever on the receipt? Or like if you touch with perfume or something and you notice like a dark mark, that's BPA on the paper.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think it used to happen a lot of the times here, like back in the days, but I feel like now it has reduced. Before, when you
it still does.
some receipts when you touch it, really.
No, but I get what you mean. Like, I mean, I can't think of the last time maybe I noticed that. But again, it's not like something you pay attention to, if you know what I mean. Because you don't realize that. Now that we've said it, I bet you're like, oh, hold on, BPA.
Yeah.
Like you will notice it a lot more now.
Yeah.
But because you weren't paying attention to it, it's not something that you would even have thought about. But yeah.
No.
So some companies are using BPA-free receipts, but what they do is they use BPS. This is another bisphenol S, right?
Okay.
Which unfortunately is also transferable and it can cause similar health hazards. So BPS, BPA, both bad. So if you touch a receipt and you notice that mark, that is a sign that there is that bisphenol. So maybe avoid. Now, it doesn't just stop with receipts, okay? So you can be like, okay, I'm not going to touch receipts going forward. Your airline tickets, like not tickets, like the boarding passes.
The boarding pass, yeah.
It's got BPA.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Or
if if you go to a concert and they give you if you go to a concert and they give you a ticket, a concert ticket has got BPA. And of course, if you get on the train, you're trying to go to Kent and you're like, yeah, I'll take the C2C, and you get one of those physical tickets. There's BPA on that as well. So there's BPA in a lot of things.
But why do they use it? That's my question. Like, why can't they use like normal paper without BPA and print the stuff on there?
Because of the thermal printing. So I tell you why, because BPA is supposed to be good for thermal materials, like thermal printing materials. So any paper that needs sort of like a bit of heat to be able to print something will possibly need BPA. Hence why BPA is a material that is used. But they can use so many other. I'm sure in God's green earth there is alternatives to BPA, and we can find alternatives. Exactly.
Probably is.
And that's why, do you know what? It's very rare that I will fly and, get the ticket, like the physical ticket. Like I always have the ticket on my phone. Like I just download it to my wallet and I just have it there. I didn't even notice like it was, I didn't even know about the BPA, BPS then. But I just thought, I'm just wasting paper. What's the point of it? Or even when I'm on the train, I would opt for like, you know, a digital copy on my phone in my wallet, as opposed to like a paper that I touch. And because I just feel like sometimes also paper is very, I don't know, it can be quite dirty, eh? In terms of like, you know, you give someone, they touch it, you put it somewhere, it comes out, and you know, it's just a lot. So I always opt for digital. I didn't even know about BPA, BPS, but clearly there is a lot of BPA and BPS. So any of those sort of bisphenol groups, there is a lot of that in a lot of tickets.
Wow. You've just made me like, now I need to start opting for like my digital boarding pass, because
exactly.
I usually just go and get the paper copy. Wow.
Exactly.
Thank you for that, Trudy.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. That's why we're here. So, as you said, bisphenols are known to interfere with the body's hormonal system and, of course, potentially causing reproductive harm, obesity, attention disorders. So sometimes you're thinking there's so much ADHD going around. Why did your child eat that receipt again when he was 2? And you just said, oh, it's fine. It's a receipt. It was clean. Okay. Just saying. So if you think about it, this is mainly a concern for people who work in retail. So people who work, say, in supermarkets, they will deal with a lot of receipts on a daily basis. Because they, you know, like even like not necessarily just supermarkets, just any retail workers, you know, anyone who works by the till, they'll, you know, because half the time they're like, do you want your receipt? And you know, you're like, yeah, they take it, they give it to you, or you say no, and they take it and bin it. So they're constantly touching receipts and things like that. Or people who work, I don't know, in ticket offices and you know, places like that, they will maybe be more exposed to BPA as opposed to you, the consumer or the customer, who just maybe touches it once a week, or I don't know, once a day. They're literally, that's what they're doing. So when I say there wasn't a lot of studies or conclusive studies, there was a lot of here and there. You know, all the papers agreed that BPA is harmful. But what they said is low amounts of BPA is not known to be harmful. But how do we know? That's what with this doctor, he was like, cumulative amounts is not going to be harmful. So this person who's touching a receipt every, you know, maybe every 2 minutes a receipt in a day, they've touched hundreds, if not thousands of receipts. So
bless them.
What happens to them? Exactly.
Yeah.
So there is, of course, mixed review with some research and studies saying BPA is safe at certain levels, and that the amount that is found in receipts is negligible. But then other research material is saying, no, BPA is not safe, because when we consider something safe, we will not even care how often maybe we are in contact with this thing. Exactly. And the thing is with bisphenol, it actually mimics estrogen, and it's also linked to health issues as well. So something that mimics estrogen is, I'm sorry, already that is, I don't care in what amounts. To me, you're mimicking something that is in my body. Stay away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Personally, I feel like these toxins, you know, the bisphenol toxins cumulatively can actually do damage. I don't know about you. I don't know how you feel about that, Steph.
No. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with estrogen as well, like it has been linked to like certain diseases and stuff when there's like an imbalance of it. If it's mimicking it, you know what's going on. Yeah.
And this same doctor that was like, okay, cumulative amounts will be harmful. What I would say is, you know, BPA is harmful. You shouldn't just think that your receipts are safe. I actually did tests in his lab and found that even trace amounts of BPA will cause problems with reproduction, cardiovascular, neurological, and immune system. So, I mean, I don't know what the studies he did, because he didn't really put in detail what these studies was that he did, or this test, sorry, that he did. and there wasn't a paper that he published at the end of it. So I can't really speak on how legit this information is. But if he has done, this is a doctor who's done tests in his lab on, I don't know what he used, maybe mice, maybe rats, I don't know, and found that maybe these traces were actually affecting cardiovascular, neurological, immune system, reproductive system. I mean, surely there must be some truth to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Exactly. So the FDA, the US FDA, actually found that BPA exposure and consumption is safe at low levels, but research has linked the chemicals to breast cancer, infertility, and obesity. So the FDA is, of course, who regulates of like food and, you know, drugs and all of that, but we don't know how low of BPA there is in receipts and in some of these other things we've talked about. So as much as they say is in low amounts is safe, how low are we talking about, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's not really like you can't, it's like saying I don't know, if you eat too much rice, you will get fat. Tell me how much rice. Is it one bowl?
How much rice?
Is
Yeah.
it one pot? Like how much rice are we talking about?
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I dug a little bit deeper, and what I found out is the EU, European Union, recommended that BPA found in thermal paper, which is the receipts, should not be more than 0.2 milligrams per gram. Okay. But there was studies that was done in France, in Spain, and I think in Brazil. They just sort of collected receipts and they sort of like tested them, like loads of receipts, and they tested them just to see how much BPA there is in some of these receipts. Statistics don't lie.
How much was it?
Because so the BPA levels that were found in majority of the receipts that were tested in France was, remember, it was 0.2 milligram per gram, right?
Yes.
But the amount that was found in the receipts in France was 1.36 milligram per gram.
Ooh. Wow.
That is like 6 times more than, you know?
More than like 8. Wow.
Exactly. And then the amount that was found in Spain, the receipts in Spain, was 7.91 milligrams per gram.
Wow.
And then the amount of BPA that was found in the receipts that were tested from Brazil was 8.79 milligram per gram. Now, you can go ahead and tell me that low amounts of BPA is safe, but if the EU said that the amount should not be more than 0.2, and they're finding that in France, that like 1 point something, in Spain is 7 point something. No, I don't want your receipt. Keep it. Keep it. Exactly.
So wait, hold on. So France and Spain, haven't they banned it as well?
So it was banned in, bisphenol A was banned for food contact materials, so not necessarily for thermal paper.
See.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So it wasn't necessarily banned for thermal paper. It was banned like for use in food contact materials. Because as I said, there's BPA that's used in a lot of things, you know, even in like cans and things like that, coatings and stuff like that, papers that you use, you know, when you go buy your tomato and there's like this, you know, this paper around it that says, you know, fresh from Italy or whatever. It could have BPA. So it's used in a lot of things like that, like food contact materials. And that was banned. So BPA is no longer used in Europe for food contact materials, but it is also is still being used in thermal paper, which is used in for receipts and stuff. So it goes to show that maybe there's a little bit of a gray area there, because if it's been banned for use in food contact material, why isn't it banned for thermal paper?
Yeah, it should be.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's ways, of course, you can avoid too much exposure, because from the conclusion of the studies that were done and the articles that I've read and the studies that I read, is that it can be harmful. We just don't know what amount there is in some of this thermal paper that could actually be harmful. So they say traces of it is not harmful, but I don't know how much there is in the thermal paper for you to tell me that traces is not harmful. And actually they say, you know, sometimes when you're like, when you're thinking about, okay, I want to be as careful as possible, hand sanitizer, that actually increases absorption. When you use hand sanitizer or use like a lotion or a cream and then you touch a thermal paper, it increases BPA absorption by a factor of 100 or more. So go there with your dry, ashy hands shopping. When you're going to Tesco, don't be out there creaming your hands.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thinking you're safe by using the hand sanitizer, you're actually harming yourself.
Can you imagine? And I can imagine like maybe like say this being even worse for say pregnant women, right? Because this small exposure to your baby is a lot.
Yeah.
Why they're not doing this kind of test to see how much exposure there is in the baby, for us to know that if you're pregnant, don't be offering a woman who's pregnant. You know, like in pharmacy, how like you know, if you're pregnant, you shouldn't be touching methotrexate. You know, if you're you know, you shouldn't even be handing methotrexate. It should be the same way. If she's pregnant, don't offer a receipt. You know?
That's true.
Because you don't know. You don't know like what amount is going to be harmful to the baby. Because again, as I said, the studies, the articles I've read, they're all very inconclusive. So there's no one that says, okay, this was done, this is how much was found, and that alone was so harmful in this amount of, you know, in this number of people and all of that. So there isn't like a detailed study or research that I have read. Not that there isn't one out there. By all means, if you come across one, please send it my way because I like things like this. But yeah, I think personally, I would avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how do you avoid excessive exposure, Steph? Just how would you avoid excessive exposure then going forward?
I mean, like for one, I'm not going to be accepting receipt. I'm just going all digital, you know, like you said. But I'm just thinking about those that work in that profession where they have to offer it. Like, how would they avoid it? Are they gonna start wearing like gloves or something? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm not too sure.
They should be wearing gloves
for like the consumer. For some people like us, yes, you can easily avoid it, but for the person issuing it, I think that's the issue there.
Yeah. So what I found out on ways that you can actually avoid excessive exposure, because you can't avoid all exposure. Let's be honest, like there is exposure in a lot of things, but I think sometimes, you know how they say prevention is better than cure? This is prevention.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this is prevention. So one, just say no when asked if you need a receipt. Okay. And maybe try and find out if they have any digital receipts. And if they do, maybe opt for that. So that is one way you can go about it. And what someone suggested is you can ask the cashier to just put it in the bag. So you go shopping, go for your Zara shopping, and then at the till they're like, do you want your receipt? Just open the bag and say, yeah, throw it in. And then, you know, they throw it in. You don't have to touch it. But that does not limit exposure for them.
At risk, not you.
Listen, because do you know what though? If you feel like maybe if you actually believe that something like that is going to be harmful to you, and exposure to it, or at least cumulative exposure, is not good for you, and maybe then the person at the till, you tell them, you know, touching receipts is not good. They're like, well, whatever. You've actually warned them, so by all means, open your bag, tell them to throw it in, okay? And then what they've also said is you should wash your hands very well after handling receipts and before eating. You know how sometimes also, if you think about it, you go to, I don't know, you're at Westfield in Stratford shopping, and then you've gone washed your hands, and then you're like, or like you go wash your hands in the bathroom, and then you're like, oh, let me just quickly get this top from Zara. Don't know why I'm talking about Zara this. Listen, I need to check Zara tonight. I think that they need to pay me. So you pop into Zara and you're like, I need a new top. And then you literally just, you know, hold it maybe with your left hand, and then you go to the till because you're thinking, oh, I want to eat, I don't know, a donut or something right after. You want to go Krispy Kreme. And you go pay for your whatever, you get the receipt, and then straight after you're eating. That exposure, you've transferred it into the food and you've eaten this exposure. So exactly. So what they're saying is it's very important that before eating, once you've touched the receipt, wash your hands, and also just wash your hands straight after you've touched it. That way there's no, you're not transferring this exposure to like other places, then you'll go ahead and still touch these places. So that's a way that you can go about sort of like avoiding exposure, at least excessive exposure. And then they say wear gloves. So there is gloves that people can, like we have this in pharmacy, like a pack during COVID, people are wearing gloves all the time. So you can just get a pack of like, I don't know, I think it's like 100, I think it's the nitrile gloves. And normally what they do is these gloves will reduce exposure, especially if you work at a till. So I would advise if you work at a till, please wear some gloves or some protective, covering on your hands, just because you'll be dealing with a lot of that. And it's not just even just receipts.
Exactly. I was just about to say that it's not even to do with just the receipt. Like I think wearing gloves as well just prevents you from like catching certain like diseases or
Bacteria.
like even like a cold or something. Yeah, like it just prevents the spread of like infections and other diseases.
Exactly.
So I think wearing gloves should be like a norm, to be honest, for for people that work on tills and stuff. Yeah.
And do you know what, also, if you think about it, if you work at the till, you're constantly touching things. The customer has come in and I don't know, they've just put their finger up their nose and then they've touched the apple, and then you've gone ahead and touched the apple. You've just touched the fluids. Do you know what I mean? So at least when you have gloves on, you're preventing any exposure to anything. Okay, keep your fluids to yourself, sir. Okay, don't be out here putting your finger up your nose or in your ear and and then give it, because I tell you what, if they tested how much germs and just bacteria there is just all over coming from people, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it. So by all means.
Yeah.
And then lastly, they say just avoid touching the printed side of the receipt. So maybe when you get a receipt, just tell them, can you fold it for me? And then just avoid touching the printed side, basically. Yes.
Okay.
So these are ways that you can avoid excessive exposure. But by all means, if, of course, this comes up and there's a paper that comes up, we will definitely revise this topic because, as I said, there isn't any conclusive evidence or conclusive tests on what these traces of BPA or even BPS, as we said, any of the bisphenol groups found in receipts can actually do to your health, or if it's very harmful to your health. We know that amount of it, like, we know generally BPS and BPA are harmful to the human health, but we don't know how much it would be harmful in small traces. And we don't know the traces as well. But as I said, they tested the receipts. If you go in Brazil and they say, do you want a receipt? Yeah, please. No. Por favor. No. That is Portuguese, right? I think it is.
I don't know. Portuguese. I don't know.
Love it. So, Steph, going forward, what are we doing when it comes to receipts? Are we buying this whole that, BPA is actually harmful to our body, to our health, and are we actually trying to avoid some of this exposure?
Okay. So I think when it comes to like the receipt, because anything like it's with anything, when you hear something, there must be some sort of truth to it. So the fact that like people, the fact that people are actually saying that, okay, the receipts are harming us, there must be some sort of truth to it. And
exactly.
If there is a research out there saying that these receipts contain BPA and they are causing the harm, like even if it's like 1 or 2 research, sorry, I'm gonna trust it. The fact that somebody has proved it, I'm gonna
Yeah,
trust that research, Maybe
exactly.
enough people have not done that research, but at least somebody has done it to say that,
Mm-hmm.
yes, this is what's happening. No, I'm gonna
Yes.
trust it. So moving forward, I'm gonna avoid receipts as often as I can, because I'm not
Good.
going to know which ones don't contain
Have.
like the BPA, right? You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna know.
Oh,
So
you know what?
if
Just
they
have
offer
spray with
me,
you and then say to someone, "Can I spray it?" Because I think sometimes
can I
you're
spray?
like, "No, actually,
Okay.
your receipt. No, not yours."
But you're not really gonna remember to
No,
to
no,
carry
you
a
won't.
spray with you.
Yeah.
So if they give me that option, do you want a digital copy? I'm like, yes, please do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
send it. And
Yeah.
if you know, sometimes we just take the receipt to make to prove that, oh, you haven't stolen, or like. But from now on,
Mm.
I'm just gonna ignore it. Accuse me all
Yeah.
you like, but I'll be
I'll show
like,
you my bank
I
receipt.
haven't stolen.
I'll go to my bank and
Exactly.
show you. Look,
Or
I've
just go
just
back to the cashier and check.
yeah. Check
You
your
know?
take your cameras. Yeah.
Exactly. So from now
Mm.
on, I'm just gonna ignore it. No more receipts. But the boarding pass, I'm usually a lazy person. Like, I don't even do the early check-in, do all of that, like, and then put my
Mm.
boarding pass on my. But from now on, I think I'm gonna be a lot more organized and like
Yeah.
basically avoid getting like a paper copy of like the boarding pass, and
Yes.
just stick to like it being on my phone or something, because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I want to avoid as much as I can. Like,
Exactly. Or at least
as you
avoid
said,
touching
prevention
the
is better than
printed
cure.
side. Yeah, exactly. Prevention is better
Mm,
than cure. So even if
yeah,
it maybe means avoiding touching the printed side, because sometimes you
yeah,
can't avoid, as I said, you can't avoid every exposure with everything that there
mm,
is. You can't avoid every single
yeah,
exposure, but the things you can avoid, I think you should, you know.
yeah.
But
No, but it's just more to do with like the kids as well. Like, you can't really watch like the kids all the time. So imagine like you have a receipt, maybe the receipt is lying down on the table or something, and then your child is just playing with like the printed bit. Come on,
what do you mean playing or eating
you're
it?
just
No,
thinking,
not playing. Kids don't play with the receipt. They
okay,
eat the
okay,
receipt. They'll be
no,
licking
no.
it. It's
But let's
true.
say it's like even like a grown child or something. They
Yeah,
would, like,
true.
even if they don't eat it, they might just be playing with it, like just
Yeah.
touching it. But you just
Mm.
feel, sometimes you just feel like, oh, it's harmless, it's only paper.
Yeah.
You know? So it's better to remove it
Mm.
from there than actually
Yeah.
like, leaving it there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd rather like avoid it altogether.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what, as well? That kind of gives me an idea. So most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, we get a receipt as well because you're not sure
Yeah.
about what you've just purchased. Say you're
Yeah.
thinking, I might want to return it. I mean, please don't return your tomatoes. If it's Tesco, go home. Go home with your tomatoes. Don't be returning your can of tomatoes for 47p. Okay, go home. But if But if you've gone to a shop, right, and you've got, I
Mm.
don't know, like your new phone, and then they said, "Do you want a receipt?" You just want something to prove that you got it on whatever date,
Yeah.
right? Maybe take a picture of it.
Mm.
Maybe take a picture
Yeah.
of it, and then just say, "Can I take a pic?" Maybe even ask them, "Can I just take a picture of it and then get rid of the receipt?"
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
because then you're not actually touching this receipt. So
That's
maybe
true.
find out if most of the shops that maybe that would offer a receipt, if you can just take a picture of it, you will have that copy on your phone.
Yeah.
And I think most of the time they just need that barcode, isn't it? So they can scan it off your
Yeah.
phone and then they can
Mm.
maybe like bring it up or whatever. So that is one option. Second option is don't be buying things you're not sure about. Okay. Impulsive buying is not good. It's a sin. Okay. And consultation podcast is a sin. So just buy things that you actually are sure about, because honestly, that's one of the reasons we get receipts. So you're like, I'm not
Mm.
sure if I'll just get this. Yeah, I'll get this trousers, but I'm not sure about them. I'll get home and see how they fit. If you have to
Yeah.
get home to see how they fit, no, that is a sign. That is a sign from the gods that maybe you don't need those new trousers. Okay,
True.
leave the trousers. Just be taking things that you are 100% sure about. That way, you don't necessarily need a receipt. Unless,
Mm.
of course, if you're buying like some of these luxurious things where maybe you might need a receipt, proof of purchase, you might need all the paperwork, that is maybe different. Just keep the receipt in the
Mm.
box at the bottom. So you're not touching it. Just say to them, can you tack it right at the bottom? And most of the time, if you think about it, when you're buying these luxurious items, half of the people are wearing gloves anyway. So they have protected themselves. So I suppose for them it's because it's like an expensive item. They don't want to like leave any markings on it. So they wear gloves. But listen, they're already protecting themselves. So you can do your own bit in protecting you. Exactly. But yeah, so that was my little research on bisphenols. Again, as I said, it was not an extensive research out there. There isn't as many studies as I'd hoped. There isn't as many articles as I'd hoped. Well, there's a lot of articles because people are talking about it a lot more now, but there isn't any conclusive evidence. But Steph, as we always say, prevention is better than cure. So
cure. Yep.
Exactly. So if we can prevent getting exposure, even if it's something we don't exactly know what the harms would be, by all means, we should do that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's burning question, Steph.
I definitely have. Very
It's opened your eyes?
informative, very educative. Yes, so
Good.
much. Yeah. This was a good one. Thank you.
Oh, good. I am glad. I am so glad.
Yeah.
Well, as usual, if you've loved this episode, if you are enjoying our burning question episodes, please let us know. Comment in our comment section, like, subscribe, send it to your families, let them know that they should not be accepting receipts. And of course, if you find any literature that is worth our read, please send it our way. But until next time, stay blessed.
Thank you for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, a healthy chat is a step towards a healthy life.
If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, drop us an email at consultationroompod@gmail.com. Our Instagram is @consultationroompod. See you next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed.